Live. Hey guys, it's Chris again. This evening I'm joined with a very special guest, a very talented, not only a director, but a composer. He's the CEO of Velvet Vinyl Films. He's the founder of Aranova Music and the creator of the site called World Is Yours to Taste, which showcases a lot of music videos and short films that he's behind. Uh, Andre Harrison.
Hello, how's it going? All
Pretty
good?
good, man. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, uh,
Cool.
we'll just start off, but just tell people a little bit about yourself, like what got you into doing all of this.
Yeah, so about myself, I've always loved horror films since I was a little kid. I think I love to be scared. And yeah, I love music as well. So kind of the music that I do is very like dark and heavy. And I kind of, it was with the films that I do is also quite dark as well. So
Nice.
they kind of merge and mix, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then yeah, just that's kind of the stuff that I kind of want to like put out there for myself and represent myself with, and I hope people enjoy kind of what I do.
Awesome. Awesome. So, did you start? With the music part of it, was that before the film, or did it kind of all happen together?
No, the music was first. Yeah, so well, no, actually no, the filming was first. So
Uh huh.
before I was doing lots of film stuff, I was very much into auditioning for movies and for TV series and stuff like this. But I was getting a lot of the same kind of roles, like lots
Mm-hmm.
of I don't know, something's happened to my mom, or I'm doing something with drugs, or I'm
You were getting typecast.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
this. Yeah. And I didn't realize as well, but I remember I went for an audition and it was actually for Hollyoaks, which is quite like a big TV series in the UK. And I turned it down because at the time I joined the band called Black Despair, and we was doing some pretty cool stuff. And I loved, I mean, basically the role was a guy who's like a womanizer, and
Right.
he's yeah, into drugs and all this stuff. And I was like, well, yeah, in the TV series I can act it, but in real life I can do it for free. So I was like,
Exactly.
okay, so why not? But it was not in that kind of way, but it was uh so I went more for music, and it was, I think, for me, the right decision.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I started off with music, and then maybe when I so 7 years ago, 6 or 7, yeah, 7 years ago, the band kind of died down due to visa issues and stuff like this, and
Mm.
because the band was primarily from Japan, so, and yeah, we ran into visa issues, so I was like, okay, cool. When my band kind of disbanded, I was like, okay, what do I do kind of now? And I also always loved film and loved music. So I decided to focus more on film, and I bought a Canon 60, I think it was at the
Right.
time. Made a couple of short movies. Yeah, really dug what the film, the filming world and the filming, what it could bring, to me, is like creatively,
Mm-hmm.
and just kept on pushing from there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I did hear some of your music. I really like it.
Oh, thank you, man.
It's like the synth industrial and everything. And yeah. So when I saw it, I said you kind of remind me like how Rob Zombie did. 'Cause Rob Zombie, he did the music thing. He transitioned over to film, and
Yeah,
he was able to like take his style of music and work it into the film, and it worked out pretty good. And
yeah,
also John Carpenter. John Carpenter,
exactly. Yeah,
composed a
with
lot of
the
his
lost
music.
themes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's awesome that you can do both, man. I love when directors are multi-talented. They can step into different areas and combine it to make something. Um, so your short films, you did quite a few short films. I was looking at your IMDb page and on your website too, that we'll talk about a little later. And you stayed pretty much in genre, right? It's either it's horror or it's dark subject matter. Am I correct? That's kind
Yeah,
of where
yeah. Everything
okay.
is everything is everything for me is reality. Like, yeah, reality for me is dark because the world is quite dark. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
definitely.
everything is like, it can be like subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like for example, with Midnight Perturbation is quite. Obviously, no one's actually turned into demons, but there's always an underlying message.
Right.
And the same with my short films as well. There's always like a kind of like a little dark message in there. So yeah, everything for me is quite dark.
No, I love that. I love how you got to continue to see. Come on, again, a lot of directors they do that. We all have like a thing. No matter what we do, there's still like that one little like nuance that we kind of keep. throughout our projects.
Yeah.
So with the shorts, how how long did it take to do all of them? Like, were you like doing one and doing the next one, or was it like you did one, took a couple months off? How was
No,
that?
yeah, no, no. I'm trying to think now. So the very, very first one, which is really bad, called Blood Money, that was done. Well, as soon as I got my camera, I was like, okay, cool. I bought a camera now. Let me use it.
Right, that's
And obviously, I
cool.
had no idea about cameras or
Right.
cinematography or lighting or dynamic range or ISO or shutter speed. Like I had no idea what any of this meant. I was like, oh, cool, I got a camera, let me film.
Right.
But luckily for me, I did everything in black and white, so it kind of saved my flaws a little bit.
Yeah.
The film still looked quite bad, but it was just nice to play around the aesthetics of filming someone and seeing reactions from the actors and actresses. And then after that, I kind of obviously got studied a bit more about filming and those aspects of lighting and how to create, how to convey a message through the screen and the images and the shots that you decide to use,
Right.
and what shots kind of mean, like shots aren't just in there for no reason. They're in
Yeah,
there
they
for a
tell a
reason.
story.
Yeah,
Correct.
is that yeah. And then, again, that's something that I think as creators you think about more than when you're just watching it. You don't really think to why those shots are chose, but as
Absolutely.
creators, you kind of watch them and go, okay, cool. This is there because we want to convey a message. And I think with my short films, I kind of got to that point before I did my first feature film.
No, that's awesome, man. Because me and I tell people all the time, if you want to get into film school is good. But the best two is like we just make it, start making stuff and work on sets. Those two things alone, because you'll like you said, you'll learn things. You'll understand. You'll get to
Yeah.
understand how to cut things together, how lights work, how everything. How you're supposed to frame scenes and work with actors and stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot of little pieces, but. And I think once you start doing it, if you do it so long, you don't realize how much is really going on. But again, that's a good thing because you subconsciously know how
Yeah.
to put a movie together. So that's awesome. And again, like doing all these short films is wonderful, man. A lot of people
Cheers.
don't
Thank
do
you,
that.
man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's really
Cheers.
cool. So right before we get to the movie, all right. So the shorts. Now again, you have the website, The World Is Yours to Taste, and then you got the music and everything. So was that kind of like how did that play into the shorts aspect? Like to get where you're at right now, were you like was the music thing first, and you made the other company? What was like the structure behind that?
Yeah. So the it kind of was going simultaneously to become like I had the short films going off.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back end, I was in a band called Wygadair, which was a really cool band. Like it was blending lots of different genres and stuff like this as well. Similar to Aeronova a little bit. But then over time, I kind of, the music changed and I wanted to do one of my own stuff. So I left them and then I focused on Aeronova, which is my own project.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an amazing drummer who, very lucky to have him and support, and he's very supportive of what I do. So when I decided to, okay, cool, what is Yours to Taste is going to be at the time primarily film.
Mm-hmm.
Aeronova was the music aspect of What Is Yours to Taste. And then they kind of just grew at the same time. To be fair, like we done our first feature film, Project Summer, that was filmed during the pandemic in beginning of 2021. And again, that film was just done because we had a camera. It was in a pandemic, and I was very at the time, like I got made redundant from the job that I was in, and
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I got a really cool camera, like the Blackmagic 4K at the time. 4K was amazing. 4K at the time was amazing. Now it's like,
They're like
VHS
6K
style.
now.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Like now 12K cameras, like God.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's mental. But yeah, so I was using that. We filmed a really cool film. Like, it may or may not be a special. So yeah, that film, because it's quite a long film, I want to try and put it on the Midnight Perturbation as a special feature.
Oh, cool.
But I don't think it will actually fit on the Blu-ray. So I think it may not be, but we're still we're going to do a few tests over the few weeks to see if it will fit onto the Blu-ray.
Cool.
If it doesn't, we will do something different. But
All
yeah.
right. You ever thought about doing like maybe like a double disc set? Like a
Yeah. But it's expensive as well. To
right.
when you do like double disc, it's literally just paying for another. Yeah, it's the same price basically as what we would pay to print Midnight Perturbation.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. So I need to go through everything again, but for just having one random disc in the box for Project Summer. So we're kind of working through that now. But that was So when What Is Your Taste and Aeronova was created, What Is Your Taste was at the time just film, and Aeronova was just music. But then as you know, the things got a bit bigger and better. Velvet Vinyl Films were created because for like business purposes, and because I was working with more musicians as well for Midnight Perturbation, I had to separate what I was doing from everybody else. So again, like for contracts and stuff like this. So that's why Velvet Vinyl Films was created.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Because again, like that's really what stood out. You know, cause I was looking at your stuff on your Instagram and everything. I said, this guy's really got some good stuff going on. You know, just the whole presentation
cool,
of it. And look, I love the website. Yours to taste. Everything's set up with all the short films and music. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like it's good having content is so good. It's great to have the ideas and talk about it. But when you start showing people stuff, that really just makes you more legit.
Yeah.
You know? And that makes what we're going to talk about next even more exciting, which is the movie that you're about to release called Midnight Perturbation.
Yeah.
So before we show the trailer, I want to say that what made me fall in love with it was the poster of the lady with the red face, because it made me automatically think of Mandy, and you and I had to talk about that.
Cool. Yes. Yeah. We spoke about that. Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah.
You know, these are telling me. Then you made a few posts about the films that kind of inspired you, or you took inspiration from. I said, okay, yeah. This is for me. This film is for my demographic. So I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
Do you want to before we show the trailer? Do you just want to tell people a kind of quick synopsis about what the film is?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Midnight Perturbation is a horror film about a couple who come into contact with a stone or rock that contains the blood of an ancient demon. But this demon feeds off of certain emotions that people have, and with the couple, the female in the couple is having these emotions. I won't say why because I think it will ruin the story.
Right.
But yeah, it attaches to her, and then over the course of one night, the guy has to kind of obviously he realizes what's happening. He's told what's happening, and then he has to decide if how he's going to save her. If he can save her, but it's not so simple as that. There's a few other like emotional obstacles that he has to kind of overcome to get to that point. And again with the Mandy thing, the Mandy, because it's good that you said it, because the poster for Midnight Perturbation, like Mandy is probably one of my favorite. I remember I saw it in the cinema.
Me too.
And I love that film so much. Like
awesome.
People knock it, but it's like it visually. If you like, it's one of those films like when you're locked in, you're locked in. Like I remember, I've never been to the cinema and like sat down and had the popcorn or whatever and never touched my popcorn at all because I was just super locked into the film, and I thought it was a great movie. So that was a huge inspiration for me, and the poster as well is exactly the same. Like I wanted to do with the colors, with the purples and the reds, and slowly going down from purple to red.
Right.
That was a huge inspiration for me.
Oh heck yeah! So we'll talk more about that later too.
Cool.
So I guess we're going to show you the trailer. Now,
yes.
Bear with me. I got it pulled up. So let me see. Add to stage. All right, how does that look? Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
There we go.
Oh, I can hear it as well. Cool. Yeah, I like this trailer.
What's that panic attack? Amy.
Sounds
Just a bit stressed.
Awesome, man.
So
Love that music too.
Just you wait, my friend. Just you wait.
Awesome, dude. That's badass.
cool.
I love the
Thank you.
music. Yeah, never like the pacing, the sound, and I'm telling you, like the concept. I've always been a fan of like horror that has kind of like its own lore, and like anything
Yeah.
like evil object, like Hellraiser, you know, or Witchboard stuff, and like that's like the MacGuffin to like it's connected to like something even more sinister, and it plays
Yeah.
off of people's emotions and stuff. I've always loved stuff like that, man, and like that's and that's a good. This is a good premise.
Yeah, yeah. I think Midnight Perturbation kind of balances around a lot of that. And I think that we had the music aspect, like the song that is in the trailer that is just there. He's in a band. Well, it's his band called Horde. It's a French musician. I love his music. I think he's amazing. I think he creates amazing, music. And yeah, it was just like messaging him, reaching out to him, you know, being very polite, and he, you know, was lucky enough to get his music for a small fee. So everything kind of fell into place with this film. To be honest with you, like everything kind of just happened,
Yeah, dude,
like it was meant to be.
Yeah, use practical effects too. I've always
Yes.
will have a soft spot and always be more open to anybody who does not use CG. I mean, there is a place
Yeah.
for that, but
Yeah.
you know, but nah, dude, like the makeup looked really good. Like the girls.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, yeah.
That was really awesome, man. And that demon, like the quick shot we saw that demon, that was pretty dope.
Yeah. Like we have an amazing makeup artist who does the makeup. She's really very like talented. And for me as well with horror, I always go back to the 80s and 90s for horror. I really don't like special effects. I really don't. Obviously, like with Marvel films, you have to, because you can't actually have someone jump out of a building with cobwebs hanging out their wrists and swing. Like you need special effects, you know. But with like the horror stuff, like like I love like David Cronenberg and John Carpenter and stuff like this, where it's like practical effects and you see like the body horror kind of aspects, which I think we touch upon a little bit. I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you. Like I really don't like special effects and visual effects. Again, for superhero stuff, I think it works.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way to do it. But I think with horror, the practical effects, I think, is part of the horror. I think it's part of the being creative and how we're gonna make this seem super scary.
Itself, you know, and it just helps. Even though people like horror fans are the most forgiving with stuff, but they will appreciate like a practical effect over CG any day. You know,
yes,
even
exactly.
CG might be better in some aspect. Like practical holds up. The stuff in the 80s, it still holds up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with this movie, what was your? I guess we can kind of walk through that whole thing. You came up with the whole concept. How long did that take? I mean, what inspired you to make this particular film?
I'll be honest with you, there was no inspiration for what inspired. It was literally just I wanted to do so. I wanted to create something. I'm trying to think now. Like I remember I read it back in May or April last year. And we started filming in June, so there wasn't really much of a.
Wow, that's fast. That's impressive.
It was so fast, and we had the premiere in November, so everything was last year. So it was super quick. There was no. I didn't say I wanted to do a film about, in my brain, I wanted to do a film about, I don't know, demonic possession or whatever. It was just okay. I want to do a horror film. Now and then I thought of like ideas, and I love The Exorcist. Exorcist is one of my favorite films, so I was like, okay, cool. Classic. This is something that I feel confident writing about, you know, someone being possessed or involving these elements. And then yeah, and then wrote the script and cast everyone, and then the cast was just beautiful and great, and yeah, everything fell into place, and yeah, before you knew it, was filming. So it was a super quick turnaround, very quick turnaround.
That's pretty impressive, dude. So going back to the short films, doing all the short films and learning from that, did that help you prepare for this so you could shoot this more efficiently in a faster,
Yeah, for
quicker?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I think our first feature film, Project Summer, helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the first time I had done a feature film before, and just the pace of filming a feature film is very different from filming a web series or a short
Oh yeah,
film.
I know.
It's very, yeah, because you can, with a feature film, there's so much stuff to think about. Like you can just in a heartbeat be like, okay, cool, I don't want to do this anymore, and then everything, yeah, you haven't got a film anymore. Like if it's like a web series or if it's like a short film, you know, you can film it and be like, okay, cool, let's just 2 more days, you know,
Right.
and then
Somebody.
it's done. Or if it's like a web series, like I don't do this anymore, and you can give it to somebody else to direct the next
Right. Oh
episode,
yeah.
and then you know it can carry on. But when it's a feature film, and you're like, okay, I'm going to direct the feature film. Like you're locked in. You know, it's your vision. You're locked in for the 18 days or however many days it is to film this. And within those days, it's everything that comes with that, which is delays and taking care of everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
when stuff don't go wrong, telling people things aren't going right. And yeah, so with Project Samurai, I think I learned a lot about how to utilize time and the equipment that you have and the people around you and stuff like this. Like, I mean, it was obviously the short film. I think every film that you do is, you know, it helps. Like even with like where we are now, like with Midnight Perturbation, and going on to Midnight Perturbation 2, it's like,
Oh, there's a sequel.
um, yeah. I don't know to
Oh,
say too
okay.
much.
Uh oh.
Yeah. Because the way it ends is it pretty much jumps to number 2. But yeah, all of this kind of leads up to learning experiences, you know, for what's going to happen. Yeah, for what happens in your next project. So obviously for us, it'll be number 2. But um, I think everything that you do as a filmmaker or even as a musician as well, like you know, everything that you do previously or prior helps build some legs for the next thing that you take on.
No, that's great. I'm glad you brought this up because whoever listens to this or will listen to this who will want to make films, they need to hear these things. You know, how it is a
Yeah,
process and how you know it's a constant evolution. Every time you
definitely.
step behind that camera, you're learning. You know, like you
Yeah,
said, making a feature. I mean, a lot goes wrong. A lot can go wrong in a feature. Whereas with a short, if it ain't working out, it can at least be a showcase. All right, I'm just gonna showcase my effects. Or, you don't have to worry about telling like a coherent story.
yeah,
Whereas with the feature, you know, that's you got like an hour and a half, and you got to make it work. Yeah,
exactly.
that's awesome. Let me see. So we talked about that. We started talking about the production. So what was your process for like getting the talent? Like, did you already have friends that were already in the industry, or did you have to
Uh,
hire everybody?
no, I think it's 50-50. It's like half was I knew before. Half of the cast actually came from the last film, Project Summer. So we had Abiyomi Oniide, Nicholas Savides, and Laura Arbelayes, who was from my last film, Project Summer, who jumped on board for Midnight Perturbation. And then, yeah, we had, I think everybody else was new. And Eric Blau as well. He was from Project Summer, but then everybody else was new. Um,
Nice.
and then the process was just like putting on a actually no sorry the not with this one so or the girl who in the poster you see
Mm-hmm.
Oriana who with she's the main character of the film. um I actually met her before COVID at a film festival, a horror film festival that I had a short film in, and she was there for like a feature film, and I remember seeing her, but I didn't talk to her. I messaged her then. I think on the day I was very drunk and yeah, but I just remember seeing her and I was like, okay, cool, she's in my brain. And then yeah, when it came to casting for this film, the guy who the guy MJ who was uh the director of her film at that festival. I talked to him now. So I remember, I think I spoke to him, or maybe I didn't. I can't remember. But I just remember seeing. Yeah, I remember she was one of the first people that I was like, okay, she would be very cool to play Amy. And yeah, I just reached out to her on Instagram, messaged her, and we clicked, and she was happy with the TNC and stuff, and loved the script, and then and then same with Shadell as well, who plays one of the character who is one of the main characters in number 2. Same with her. She was going to be in the music video for my band, Aeronova. And then we kind of kept in contact and reached out to her for the role, and she said yes, happy with everything. Who else was there? I mean, to be fair, there's only like 9 actors in Midnight Perturbation. It's really,
still pretty good.
It's tight. Yeah.
It's still a lot though for independent film, and
it's
more than what's in mine. So
yeah. Okay, cool.
But so what? All right. So far as the effects part of it goes, working on a smaller budget. How were you like really like restrained in what you could do, or did it help out, or did you have your effects artists, were they able to like kind of improvise within the restraints of what they were able to work with?
I mean, I knew what we had in terms of budget, so I was like, okay, I need to write something that is around that budget.
Smart.
And I knew what our head makeup artist could do, Ramina, what she could do. But I kind of so. And I'm trying to avoid it in a way that doesn't ruin it for anyone who's not seen the film, because if I say, well, ruin the film. But so we were able to do the prosthetics for the characters that need prosthetics, if that makes sense.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So all right, so you got you got your crew together. You shot this thing very efficiently.
Yeah.
Did you? So who edited? Did you do the editing and?
I did the editing and the music. And well, not just me, sorry. So it's with the music. I did most of the music for the film, but then obviously we had bands who lent songs, like the song that is in the teaser now.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Sebastian, aka Horde, who lent the song #16, which you hear on the soundtrack, and you hear on it's pretty much the theme tune for the film.
Right.
To be honest with you. And then we had the band Black Despair as well, and then we had obviously my band that lends a song towards the end. And then me and Chris was just writing a lot of the tunes and the sounds that you kind of hear throughout the film.
That's great.
Yeah. So it made sense as well, especially like when you have like not a lot of money to kind of just handle everything, especially when you can as well. Like if you understand sound, and I probably understand sound more than most people who do film understand sound, because obviously I'm a musician, more than I am a filmmaker. Well, now I see myself as a filmmaker, but back in the day I was more a musician, so I understand sound more than I do probably more filmmakers. Not in an arrogant way, but just
totally understand. Yeah, no, that's good. Because even in the trailer, I heard certain parts picked up, and there was that was effective. And they say a film without good sound is it doesn't matter how pretty it's shot. If you don't have good sound, it takes the audience out of it. I'm one.
Exactly.
So I'm pretty sure when you was in the editing room, you was able to you knew like certain beats and everything. So all right, this needs to pick up here, needs to be lower here. So that made it a lot easier. Versus if you were collaborating with somebody and they say, oh man, I wish you had done it. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing. That's awesome.
Exactly. Especially because we've done everything super quick as well. It made more sense just for me to just kind of handle everything. I think in number 2 it won't be like that. I think number 2 there'll be a lot more hands involved, especially with editing. I'm not too sure if I want to do the sound anymore with number 2, but with number 1, everything kind of just fit into place, and it made sense.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So you said it went to some festivals. All right, so I'm kind of like saying the way so people can kind of listen, kind of understand how the whole who may not know how the whole process works, get an idea of things.
Yeah.
So you take it to the festival. How was that experience for you?
I mean, festivals are good, but I must admit, I'm starting to really not give a shit about festivals. I don't know. Yeah, like
You're not the first to tell me that. I've heard that before.
yeah, like it's a lot of like festivals are very much like when you look at who gets into festivals, a lot of people know each other. That's why their films were in it. It's not because your film is good. It's not because people like your film. It's because they know Dave and Tom and Jane and
so that gatekeeping stuff, then.
yeah, exactly. It's not because your film is good or bad. It's just everyone's all clicked, and if you're not part of that clique, then you won't get it, no matter how good your film is. Unless it's like, you shot it with Alexa Mini and it's like proper like, head turning kind of crazy stuff, like it's not like it's unless you're in the network, you're in the crowd. And I've seen it like this year in particular, like when I was doing a few other festivals, like I saw a lot of films that got in. I was like, how did I get in? And then they all know each other on Facebook or Instagram. Everyone all knows each other. So a lot of the films that get into film festivals, in my opinion, is unless you know them, your film, no matter how good it is, no matter how creative it is, because that's what it is. Like filmmaking is art; it's a creative experience. Unless you know people, you won't get in. So, which is I think is a shame because it should be down to watching the film. How you feel. Yeah, how you feel. How you feel when you watch it. But unfortunately, I don't think that's the way it is at the moment, and I've seen that's not the way it is. So, for me, I don't really care too much about the festivals. I think it looks nice, of course, having a laurel or whatever. But I'm more, for me anyway, with my stuff, I'm more focused on the business. And not so much making money, but just kind of like giving it to people who matter, and
that's right.
Because obviously I could wait till next year and put the film online and sell it on Blu-ray because we've done the festival run. But yeah, fuck it. I just, we're growing. Midnight Perturbation is doing quite well. I want to give it to people, let people watch it, let people, love it, enjoy what we're doing, and then latch on to number 2 so we can just crack on and do number 2. Yeah.
So that since we know there's gonna be a sequel to this, I'm assuming that it's gotten very good reception from people who have seen it. People.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all that matters, man. Like the audience, they're gonna tell you, if it's working or not.
Yeah, they definitely. I think because people know how much money we had to use, when they find out how much a lot of people actually, everyone said, "Oh wow, you only had like $2,000." And it's like, yeah, and we made the movie, and then like that looks like it was made for a lot more than $2,000.
Yeah, so I mean, could do like budget don't mean nothing. I mean, you and I both have seen productions that cost millions as crap.
Yes, I mean, exactly.
I mean, it helps. Money does help.
It does.
That's not the end all be all, though. I mean, you still gotta have talent.
Exactly. I mean, when you look at, like, I remember I took my kids to see what was it, that Captain Marvel film, and I must admit, like, the only thing for it was really bad. Like, the only thing that I loved was obviously the Easter egg right at the end. Obviously, if no one's seen it, is watching, I don't want to ruin it for you, but that was really cool. You see like another universe kind of coming to it. But but apart from that, like I don't remember anything from that film.
It was soulless, man. Like I mean, I can't like. To me, it's like just a bunch of cartoons running around. Like everything's CG. Story, it's very like basic. Like it's just like this stuff. 10 years from now, nobody's gonna think. That's why I look at it. Like, is this thing gonna hold up 10 to 20 years? No, nobody's gonna talk about this.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think when you have like no money, you're kind of forced to be creative. Exactly. And I think that's what I love. I love the idea of, not the idea, but I love the process of, okay, how can I make this look like it does on Netflix when I have like literally 1% of the budget they have to create that,
It's exciting, right? It's almost like an adrenaline rush. Like, all right, how can we make something cool with nothing?
Exactly that. And again, it's kudos to you, and it's kudos to your team, and it's kudos to everybody who's involved, man, because it's hard work, but again, it's if you are genuinely creative, you will find a way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you get there.
So on that note, all right, now we'll get to the big one. The one I like to
Okay.
ask everybody is distribution. So now that you've done a festival run, people have seen it, it's gotten well received. Seems to be the part where a lot of people kind of get stuck at. They don't know what to do, or they have a hard time getting the film out properly.
Yeah.
So what has your experience been thus far with that?
So unless you get like a offer from a very big distributor, that gives you an MG, like minimum guarantee, I would just self-distribute, to be completely honest with you, because that way you can control everything. The money's going towards you.
Right.
Like even for Midnight Perturbation, we got offers for, we got offers for a few, especially in America, because obviously we were based in the UK, so I've not got any footing in the US at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they want the license for 7 years, 10 years, no MG, and it's like and it's a bit like, no, but I get it from their perspective, but I'm also like, when you think about Instagram and you think about Facebook, and if you just spend a bit more time marketing for yourself, especially if they don't have a good marketing, if they can't deliver, if they can't show you their marketing plan,
Right.
What they've done to kind of make money for their own projects, then to me it just makes a complete lot of sense just to do it yourself. Like, I know it's hard, I know it's you want to do, as an artist, you want to do your film and you want to put it out there, give it to someone to make money for you, whatever, and then crack on with the next film. But it's 2024, man. The world is not like it was in 1999 or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
different. You need to do everything. You got to be jack of all trades. So distribution, I think, unless you get like a very good deal, and you get something up front, I would just self-distribute all the way. I'm a big believer in that, and you grow as a person as well. Like people, when you promote and you market yourself, people start to recognize you and know who you are, as opposed to giving it to like a distributor to distribute.
No, that's really informative, man. And like, just so people know out there who are listening, or will listening. So you did pretty much, you follow kind of like the guidelines to what an independent filmmaker do. You had an idea, you got a group together, you got the money to make it, you made it, you got it. People to look at. You got in festivals, you got some buzz behind you. You got all up to the point where companies were interested in picking it up. But the reality was it wasn't realistically, it wasn't live. It wasn't the right thing to do for you. Like it was more.
Yeah.
It made more sense to rough it out and just put it out yourself. I think that's something people need to really listen to from other filmmakers.
I mean, for me, like, for example, I also won't name who they were, but like you can get an offer and they will. You have a long list of what the deliverables are, and sometimes deliverables as well cost money. But you don't, if you self-distribute, you don't have to really worry about a lot of those deliverables. So it's like, in my head, is like, since the film costs already $2,500, $3,000, whatever, $2,000, $3,000, it doesn't make sense to pay someone to do deliverables that I don't necessarily need, because if it comes back to me that I need the contract for something, I can just show who's asking me for the contract that yes, I have a contract to film here or film there or whatever deliverables are. And then and again as well, distributors have like a distributor fee as well, which is usually like 10K or 20K, and it's like, what is that for, considering you don't do any marketing? So it's like, you want my film, you're not going to give me any money up front, and you want me to give you 10 grand. Well, you're going to take $10,000 for distribution fees, which is what are you doing with? You don't market the film, so
that's
what are you doing?
So it's that's another thing. So all right, so let's say, like, we'll call Blue Distribution. We'll just make up a name.
Yeah.
Blue Distribution. They're not even, if they picked you up, they're not even going to market the film saying where it's at. You yourself still have to do all the
You still
legwork,
gotta do,
correct?
yeah, exactly. You still gotta
what's
do
the
it,
point?
yeah.
What's the
Exactly,
point?
exactly. Like unless it's like for me, it's less like Warner Bros or Sony or someone huge that is like, okay, cool. You know, we're not gonna pay you a
Right.
MG, but you know, we'll take the film, of course, because it's Sony and it's Warner Bros. Everyone
Right.
knows who these guys are, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But if it's somebody who yeah, who I don't completely, yeah, they may have some good titles, you know, under their belt, but I don't completely know who they are. I still think for me it makes more sense to learn the business for yourself as well, especially if you got a good title. I mean, we're quite lucky with Midnight Perturbation,
Oh
but
yeah, that's very unique.
yeah, if you got a good, cool little title, just learn the business, you know, so when you do next, you have other films, you can develop on that and develop on the film, but also develop on the business skills as well a little
Right.
bit.
And you know, a couple of them I want to touch upon with this is with these companies that come, you know, that give you offers, they're just not in your favor. Clearly, they see something in the movie, or they wouldn't pick it up. They know they can make a profit off of it. So it's not like they're just grabbing it to grab it. So you know that, okay, I got something here that there is a market for.
Yeah,
Right? So,
yeah. I mean, it's I approach it the same way I do as music, like with my bands, and yeah, when I was back with my band back in the day, like we had the same motto of you know, if they're a very good PR company or if they're a good management company, they would not be reaching out to you because they're too busy to, you know, reach out to little bands, you know. And I kind of feel the same way with distributors. Like if they're a big top end distributor, they're too busy handling big films to worrying about, you know, your movie. So
I agree, absolutely.
yeah, so when someone approaches you, and obviously it's a compliment, but I'm also like, why are you contacting me? a little bit, and then you investigate them. But I also, with everyone who reached out to us, I kind of I reached out to the filmmakers who are on their roster as well, and got feedback from them. And yeah, everything kind of like revealed what I was kind of thinking anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, again, like this is good stuff because again, every film got brought on, and I've talked to them on camera and off camera about these things. Like this is very important stuff because there's a lot of videos out there and stuff, and people all know you can make your own movie and stuff. All these how-to videos know how to shoot and everything, but nobody there's very few to talk about distribution, which I think is probably the most important part of this whole thing.
Exactly, and like, you know, I love my I must admit I love my team. I love the people that I work with. And I was talking to I was talking to one of the guys in the team called Matt, and I said to him as well, like, and anyone can film, you know, anyone and their grandma can film a film these days, you know. But it's once you filmed it, what do you do after that? That is still like an anomaly, and because it's always changing. No one knows, you know, the business is always changing. No one knows what's going to happen, you know. You can film something really great that looks great, but you make like zero money, you know. But that is always a part that I think schools can't really teach because it's always changing. You know, it's something you need to experience by just living and making films and
I agree,
seeing how things kind of, you know, unfold. But yeah, and not to be like deterred by it. And if you're not deterred by it, then you know, keep pushing and keep doing it again and seeing how you kind of create new material based on your failures. And you know.
That's great advice, man. And you know, I feel in like I said, 2024 with social media and everything, this is probably the best time for us to make a film than before. I feel that we have a better chance now of getting ourselves seen than we would have back in the 80s and 90s, just because it's so much easier. You know, I mean, realistically, if you really just want somebody to see your thing, you can just dump it on YouTube. You know, or something. You know,
exactly.
But, you know, and it might be go viral, you can monetize that. You know, but like, you know, there's ways to do it where, you know, you don't have to go the old school traditional route because that is dying. You know, Tubi, which I really like Tubi. Do you guys get that over in the UK?
No, we haven't got Tubi. You can access it via VPN, but you can't actually. Yeah.
Tubi is awesome because it's free.
Yeah.
This is my Dark. This is Dark Helmet. He's actually the composer on my stuff. Great guy.
Oh, cool,
He does a lot of synth music. What's going on, man?
Cool.
Like, definitely check out his channel. He's
I will.
awesome stuff.
I love dark synth stuff, so yeah, I will definitely check it out.
Pretty cool.
Cool.
But Tubi it's free. It's totally free, and they show a lot of old movies. They'll show like The Thing and all of this stuff.
Ah,
They do have commercials, but they're uncut. The film is totally uncut, but it's got commercials, and they got old TV shows and stuff. And a lot of the filmmakers are putting their stuff on Tubi. Now, there's two ways you can do it. You can either go through a distribution company and they'll put it on there, or you can go to, I believe it's Film Hub, and upload your film on there.
Yes.
Distribute yourself and get it put on Tubi, and it gets monetized and everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what everybody's doing now, and I think we need more stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's options out there.
Yeah, 110%. I mean, I think for me, I wanna try and apparently I'm super loud.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Let's see. How's that sound?
Let's see. Maybe you'll.
Let me see. Maybe I need to turn up a little bit. I thought I was doing pretty good. Let's see. Can you hear me? Yeah. You can hear me, right?
Who, me? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, it's a volume difference. I got you. Sorry, my voice isn't as,
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, Dark Helmet. He's a good guy though. He's really good. He's been helping us a lot on our stuff.
Cool. Yeah, because I understand you're making a feature film as well, no?
Yeah. Well, like I can after we wrap up this, I can talk to you more about that. It's
sure.
The short. You saw the short, the dream.
Yes. Yeah. Really cool. Really nice.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Stop motion.
It's not that, but there are aspects of that in it.
Okay.
But we can talk more about that off camera.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I want to talk about your movie right now because you got this awesome trailer. And all right, but yeah, Tubi something. I think even since you're overseas, I think there's a way you can go through like Film Hub or whatever if you have that and get it put on there. But I definitely that's an option, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good one if you can get on there.
Yeah, like I do have a Film Hub account, and I'm gonna try and put the film on Film Hub. So hopefully, I don't know how it works, but I'm guessing because obviously Film Hub is an American company, so I'm assuming they would have access to Tubi.
Yes, that's because my previous guest Christopher Moonlight, he did a film called the Quantum Terror.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's on Tubi. He won awards and everything. He's a real good guy.
Cool.
And that's what he did. He uploaded it to Film Hub, and it got put on Tubi. And, but he had a really good timing with it. It was like just the right time, so it did very well for him. So it's an option. I'm not saying that's the have to, but it's definitely something.
Yeah. No, I mean for me, it's just about getting it just to everybody to kind of watch.
Right.
I mean, I think with the Amazon, we get to any country that speak English, so obviously US, Amazon. UK. Yeah, it was fine, but for everybody else is a bit difficult. Obviously because we have like Italian and Spanish in the crew, so it's those territories will get it as well. But I noticed with Amazon and the metadata, like you have to have the something about the subtitles or something like this have to be in those
some technical
languages.
stuff.
Yeah, so not everyone will get to see the film, unfortunately, but we're kind of working on those aspects.
Awesome. So on that, this kind of goes into distribution. Is the movie? So the movie's done, and you're. I think I read it was even on your website or on one of your social media platforms that you're going to do like a big like launch, like you're going to just go ahead and sell the disc, right? Once you get.
Yeah. So we're gonna do. So we're eyeing at the end of June. So on the 6th of June, we're releasing the music video for Midnight Perturbation, to kind of get the music fans a bit more involved with the film. And then at the end of June, we will release the film will be released. We're going to put it onto Blu-ray, so people can watch it on Blu-ray if they want to have a physical copy, or you can buy it on Amazon for whatever price we set it at, which will be
Oh,
like
heck yeah.
101.99. No, it'd be a little more price.
I'm gonna buy a copy, and I definitely when you get ready, I'll help you, promote it. I do the, what I can to help get the word out about it. Because
Oh, I
what I saw
appreciate it,
looks
man.
really
Thank
great,
you.
man. Yeah. So do you guys still do like the region disc and stuff? Because I know that at one time that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, for the company that we're using, there's something that I asked as well, and he said no, it's completely unlocked, so
Cool.
it'll work anywhere apparently,
Awesome. Yeah.
according to who our publisher guy is. So yeah, it'll work anywhere.
Good. That's awesome to hear. So we're gonna before we wrap up, I'm gonna show the trailer one more time, but there's a couple more
Cool.
things I want to talk about. I mean, it's been awesome.
Yeah,
Talking
no
to you,
worries.
by the way, man.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. Yeah. It's been really nice. I will say as well, what we can do is when you've watched the film, maybe beginning of June or something like this, I could send you a copy of the film and then we watch it, and then we'll do another one, and then I can bring the cast with me as well, and then you can ask them.
Awesome.
We can have like bring everybody on board.
Hell
That'd
yeah,
be nice,
definitely,
cool.
absolutely. That'd be an honor.
Cool.
So your favorite creature? What's your favorite monster in a film?
My favorite monster in a film. God, my favorite monster in a film. Probably the thing in the thing, like, because you don't actually know what it is.
Right.
And that was always quite scary. Yeah, it's either that or the xenomorph.
Yeah, that's mine. I love the xenomorph.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful creature. It's such a beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I see yourself as well. You did create the Little Shop of Horrors. I saw you done like a mix of Audrey with Hellraiser. That's really cool, man. That's awesome.
Thanks. I got another one I did. I'm gonna drop.
Cool. Nice.
I got another one. Yeah, I've been doing a lot in between shooting. I've been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, we can talk more about this off camera.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a lot of stuff I've been just compiling that I'm gonna drop. Let's see. We got another. Who's this?
That's our as effects artist.
Oh, well, you did an awesome job in the effects. Very impressed.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I got some. I've been trying to compile stuff up. I know, like, it takes a long time to shoot these things. I just didn't want to wait around. I said I need to drop more stuff in between that to build a following so people knew who I am, because I think that's important too. Is people need to know something about you if you're gonna drop like a film or anything. It's good to have something there.
Exactly. I mean, I think your stuff is really cool. Like, I was watching The Drain.
Oh, thank
it's
you.
It's called Dr. Brain Drain, right?
Yeah, Dr. Drain.
Yes, yeah. It's really funny. I remember I watched it, and I was really drunk, and I was going to bed, and I was watching it on my phone, and I just remember seeing the little creature like stop motion coming out of the sink.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck is?
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
Just me and my fiance.
Really cool.
Nobody else.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did the effects and I made the little monster and stuff. And because she has a degree in cinematography. On this.
Okay, cool.
She doesn't want to shoot the main thing, but she helps out a lot. And she does all the editing. She's a very good editor. But now she shot it for us. We had we got like an 18-month-old baby, and like he was like only a few months old. So the scene where like the POV shot of the thing looking up at me.
Yes, yeah.
I think I got it behind the scenes. I got the harness on with my baby in it, and like I got this big tube. I'm holding the thing like she's zooming the camera through. It was just that was a lot. But you do what you got to do.
That's cool. Yeah, exactly.
But no, man, that's awesome. I'm glad you like that.
That's cool, man. It's really cool. It's fun.
So, what is your favorite special effect in a movie?
My favorite special effect in a movie. Oh man, that's a good question. It's probably either gonna go to something a xenomorph does with the acid, or actually no. My favorite special effects. It's not great because now when you watch it, it's not very cool. But David Cronenberg's The Fly, the part where when the guy goes back into the house and to save his wife, his girlfriend or his friend, whatever. And then the fly like vomits on his leg and disintegrates his leg. Yeah. I thought I remember watching that. And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I remember like watching that. I was like, "Wow, this is crazy." This movie, but it's the special effects is really cool.
Yeah,
so that's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that's just like I think it's like David Cronenberg in general. I think everything that he does is really cool. Is huge inspiration for me. Like I love his movies.
You see Videodrome, right?
Yes, yeah, I love that
That's
movie.
that's still my favorite. I think Videodrome, The Fly, and Naked Lunch are like my three.
Naked Lunch, it took me a while to get into that. If I'm to be, like, I love the effects.
Right.
I didn't understand it too much the first time I watched it, but then after a couple of watchings, I kind of
It's
understood.
tricky because I
Yeah.
did some research on. So apparently, it's based off the book by William S. Burroughs, but he did two. But it was actually a combination of two books. It wasn't just one. But
okay.
it's one of those movies where it got layers to it. You know,
Yes,
it did take a couple
you need
times.
to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
Great movies. Like I love it when the special effects are pushed to that kind of like surreal kind of vibe.
oh yeah, definitely.
Same with like like Panos Cosmatos with like Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Hell yeah.
Stuff
man.
like this. It's like you kind of watch those movies and you're like, I need to watch this again to just understand what was going on.
Cal, I didn't want to come back there and talk to you about it since we both love this movie so much.
Yeah.
I will say that in another 10 years, this will probably be one of the defining horror films of the 21st century. Just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that stuff was. Mandy holds up. I still.
It's a great film. Like, and whenever I've said to someone watch Mandy, they've always come back with the same responses. Like, I have no idea what I just watched.
But it's
just great. It's just, but they've always said it's just so cool. It's such a cool movie, but I have no idea what I just watched.
But you know what? The thing about Mandy that works for us, I think, because we definitely get it. Cause it does that thing where he loves the 80s. He loves everything about the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
And that film, it was a love letter. I mean, the font. The metal font he did for Mandy. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, because nobody's ever done it. Why has nobody ever done that? Like, he did it right. The animation sequences, the music, like, how it just, it went from like this weird David Lynch film to like a straight up Sam Peckinpah and Home Invasion to this like medieval like rock and roll metal fight. It's just like in concept, he said this is not going to work, but he made it work so well.
It's such a great film. It's really cool, and especially even with Beyond the Black Rainbow as well. Same thing,
right.
Especially the part where obviously I don't want to read for someone who's not watched it, but the part where the alien, when he shaves his head and he goes into the real world to chase the girl, and then there's two metalheads that are having like I don't know what they're doing, but they have like a drink in the forest,
right, yeah.
And he's like this alien kind of character to their world, and it's that again. That whole scene for me is very 80s. The amount of blood that from that just one knife shot, and the way their hairstyle is and stuff like that, it's very, it's very, again, you said very 80s.
Like, it's very like retro futuristic thing to like 80s. It's still the same world.
Yeah.
My favorite part was the flashback when they show how he got, when he went to the pool and drunk the stuff. That was amazing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Remind me of, you ever seen Begotten? Have you ever seen that movie?
Begotten. I'm not too sure. I don't think so.
You need to watch it.
I'll write it down.
It's nightmare fuel, but
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
We got another Dean Hayward.
Cool. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, that's
nice.
Awesome, man. That's awesome that you guys are supporting you, man. That's great, man.
Cool.
And hey, thanks for everybody who's watching and checking us out. We're just shooting the shit right now.
Exactly.
But
Super
man,
appreciate it.
Beyond did you watch his segment in the Jesus Christ, the Guillermo del Toro anthology?
Yeah. That stood out from everything else.
Oh yeah, because
visually it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think everybody else was an adaptation of a book, and like he was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It was very similar to Beyond the Black Rainbow. Did you get that vibe from it?
Definitely.
Even the ending. The ending was straight. It was the same ending, which I thought was cool. It was, okay, he's going back. Which makes me believe his next film is going to be more like that than Mandy. I don't know, because Mandy's one. I think that's like a one and done.
It's a very weird film. Even towards the end, like when you see Earth in the final shot and you see Earth and you're like, oh wow, so they're not even actually on Earth.
But
I love it. Shit. Yeah, that was such a cool movie.
But it's cool because it did it in a way like, okay, this is like even from the very beginning, right? Like when her and him were just laying there daydreaming, you see like the cosmic shit. It established then that this is not Earth. This is just it's a different world, but it wasn't on the nose about it. It just kind of, all right, this is where we're at. And they,
Yeah.
and so, and I thought I loved that, and like the whole thing, the Horn of Abraxas, like what, like where are these weirdos get?
Yeah,
Saying, what is this? I
exactly.
loved it, man.
Yeah, it's a great. I remember seeing that at cinema and people were leaving like halfway
What?
through because
Oh, they suck.
because they couldn't understand what was going on.
But didn't they see the trailer? I mean,
No, yeah. I mean, I love that stuff. And I love also Asian cinema. Like the guy Dean who just messaged now. Me and him when we were kids, we used to watch like loads of Japanese and Korean horror movies together.
Hell yeah, man.
So yeah, like me and him, we kind of like I think most of our childhood was watching really weird stuff.
I'm about it. I mean, surreal. Like, I like monsters and weird shit. Like that, if you do, that's the two things like my brain just goes to.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's great. I mean, I think now the horror movies aren't. They're very. It's like social media, it's fed to you. You kind of know what you want. It's like you're scrolling and you kind of get what you want, But when you see a film like Mandy, it's out of the circle,
I agree. It's getting better though. I think we're getting back to that. The last couple of years we've been getting. There's been a lot of. I mean, horror has been big again, especially like 2022 when Terrifier 2 and Scream 6.
Yes.
Barbarian, all that came out. Like horror just. But what's
wow, that's 2022 for Barbarian.
I believe so. Yeah, 2022.
Oh wow, jeez. Okay, yeah. Because I only saw that this year. That's good. That's a good film.
Oh heck yeah! Let me see. We got another.
I like that movie.
Patrick
Ubaldo. Oh hey, ciao Patrick.
But
Good.
But no, it was funny. It was funny. Like who said it? It was some director said like horror has always been the saving grace of Hollywood. Every time Hollywood hits like this rut, horror pulls it out. And if you look at it, right before the pandemic, Endgame came out, right? And that was like the biggest thing on the planet.
Yes.
And the superhero shit has not been the same since. I mean, it's kind of
died out. It's very, very, very good.
So that like 2019 to 2021 was kind of like dead. I mean, the pandemic happened. Nobody's going to theaters. Like movies just weren't doing well.
Yeah.
But then we kind of came out of that and stuff. And like in the last couple of years, like horror, like again, 2022 that was the year of horror. All the shit horror did just boomed. And then we're back in that renaissance again. And we are starting to see some better stuff, I think. And people are wanting to see, like, again, Terrifier 2, say what you will. I like Terrifier 2 because like it's old school effects and everything.
Yes,
but that kind of opened up the door for guys like us,
Exactly.
So I think we're in a good place, man. I think.
Exactly, man. I like the first Terrifier. It was quite brutal.
The second one was fun, but
the first one was quite brutal. The second one, I need to watch again. I must admit, I think maybe I fell asleep at some parts, but not because it was bad, because I was just tired. But again, I remember watching some of the killings, and they were quite brutal. But there's a lot of films now. A lot of films now that are like was it The First Omen?
Yeah.
And Immaculate, and this I can't remember what it's called, but the vampire film about the girl who's like a vampire.
Abigail, I think.
That's the one. Yeah.
But dude, Late Night with the Devil is the best horror film of the year so far.
I've seen. We watched that. Yeah. Oh man, I need to. I think I need to watch it again. Because I wasn't so impressed. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. I really liked the film. But when you are overhyping something in your head.
Yeah.
And it didn't scare me. It didn't make me feel any. I was watching in the cinema, so I was like, okay. But I think I need to watch it again at home.
You should.
I mean, I think it was a good. I think it was a good movie. Execution was great. The style was great. The only thing I didn't like was I feel one thing for me as a filmmaker is I hate it when they explain everything.
Right. Yeah.
And towards the end, when I was going to ruin it, but when it gets to the explanations, are like just. Stop, like just leave a bit of mystery for everybody.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's the mistake Alien made with Covenant and Prometheus.
Yes, yeah.
I told us, man, why did because like the thing about it, there was nothing they could have came up with that would have worked versus like not knowing. That's what made the alien so cool.
Yeah.
What the hell it was,
Exactly.
Guy, what? Like what is Black Ooze?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Unknown, man. Right on. Well, let's show everybody the trailer again.
Cool, let's do it.
It's a good trailer. Let me pull it back to the beginning, and let's watch it.
Cool.
my friend. Just you wait.
Awesome, awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say huge like shout out to all the actors who were involved. Not just the actors, everybody who was involved. Amazing people.
I can't wait to see it, dude.
And I really can't wait to.
Oh yeah, people today just too.
They need
dumb.
to explain. Yeah. Completely agree.
You can change the audience though. We just gotta get them back in that mindset about accepting the unknown. But
yes, exactly.
No, this looks awesome, dude. I'm really excited about what it's everybody I've interviewed has such cool projects coming out, and this right here is definitely up my alleyway, man. And I'm
awesome.
I need everybody to support this who's watching this. I put a link. So what I did as far as your link, social media, I just put a link to your website and the
cool.
YouTube.
Yeah.
That pretty much everything is in there, right?
Everything's in. Yeah. So when we release the film, there'll be like an extra store kind of tab, not tab, but like a button maybe. Where you can click the store and you can get to buy it or rent it from there.
Awesome. Yeah. And again, like when you get ready to drop it, I'll help promote it and stuff, and you guys come back on. I would love to have all y'all here to talk about the movie and just talk. I just love talking to movie people, man.
Thank you, man. Yes. As soon as but when you watched it, I'd love to get your reactions, and I'll bring the cast with me as well, and we'll jump on the call and we can have a nice long call with the cast and crew.
Well,
it'd be nice.
The last question we asked, you kind of already answered. What's next? So you're
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what's next? There's quite a few, to be fair. Like, I think I started off talking about how I met Oriana, who's the main actress for the film. A guy called MJ. He was doing a film where she was in. So I'm working on a film of his. He does a film called Horoscopes, which is like the horoscopes, but like horror is in horror. And it's his third film where he's so the first film was the normal horoscopes like Cancer, Gemini, ones. Yeah. Then the second one was the Chinese zodiac, which was last year, and this year he's doing the dark zodiac. So every horoscope is like a different filmmaker doing a short film for this movie.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool concept. So I'm doing one of those movies, and then there's another 11 filmmakers doing the other horoscopes for the other months of the year. So we're filming that at the end of the month. We got a great cast, great crew. So it's the same crew as Midnight Perturbation. And then we're doing another feature film as well, which is like a horror comedy action, kind of like Suicide Squad with monsters and stuff. So it should be fun.
I'm sold already. You said enough. I'm down with that. I love
awesome. It's gonna be cool. And then end of the year we'll be back on to Midnight Perturbation 2, which is gonna be very terrifying. Like I'm still writing the scripts. I'm right at the end, but already the script is for number 2 is almost twice the size as number 1. So once it's written, I gotta find a way to cut it down. But it's gonna be it's gonna be great. It's gonna be terrifying. Number 2, like number 1 builds everything up.
Right.
Number 2 destroys everything beautifully. So looking forward to it.
Will it be a trilogy? Is it too early to ask that question?
Oh man, would it be a trilogy? The end of number 2 does end exactly like number 1, where it's like a cliffhanger kind of thing.
Right.
If it is a trilogy, I definitely won't be doing number 3 as quickly as number 2. I want to do some other stuff, but number 2 is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Like I really can't wait to just scare people with number 2. Is even for me when I write it, when I read it, like it puts chills in the back of my neck. So number 2 is going to be something very special for sure. I mean, number 1 is as well, but number 2 is
And my last question about that. So the first one, you're pulling inspiration from like Mandy and The Exorcist and The Evil Dead I saw.
Yeah.
What would you say is comparable to number 2?
I would say Exorcist and Alien.
That's a very interesting comparison.
Yeah,
I like that.
And probably Silent Hill 2 as well, the video game. There is, I take. Okay. There's basically 2 different stories going off for number 2. Again, I don't want to ruin it for people, but there's 2 stories going off from number 2. One of them takes a lot of Silent Hill vibes, Silent Hill 2 vibes, and the other one is very Alien kind of vibes. And then they kind of cross blend towards the end and become this obviously
I love it.
linear story. But yeah, enjoy number one first, and then we'll crack on with number two.
Okay, cool. You told me. I mean, that's all I need to know. I'm pretty sure everybody who's listening, they're in the same boat. So that is awesome, man.
Yeah,
But
cool.
we're over an hour now, and like again, thank you so much for talking to me, man. This has really been enjoyed. I enjoyed this and learned a lot, you know. And you're always welcome to come back on the show, man.
Thank you very much. And again, I said, I come back. I bring the team with me. But I also want to say one thing as well. So when we was filming, there's one phrase, and I feel better if I don't say it. There's one phrase that is in the film, which is, "I ain't no exorcist, bruv." It's like there's a scene where someone's possessed, and one of the characters is it's a bit of humor with all the crazy house. But anyway, one of the guys, so Matt, who is one of our DOPs and camera guys, he came to set one day and he printed T-shirts with that phrase on the T-shirts, and came in and brought it. So I told him I would show the T-shirt. So I'm going to show the T-shirt. I can't actually see if I do this, but yeah. So this is Matt's T-shirt that he printed with "I ain't the exorcist, brother" on it. I can't actually see it, but yeah.
You can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, cool. But I'm actually going to try and get these printed and sell them. So people who like the film, if they want to get one of those T-shirts,
that's brilliant.
you can buy them very, very soon.
Hell yeah, awesome. But that's all. Is there anything else you want to say? Shout out before we wrap this up.
No. I mean, a pleasure to talk to you, Chris. I thought it was really nice. Keep doing what you're doing as well. Like I really liked Dr. Brain Drain. I thought it was really fun. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do with the feature film. And yeah, what I said before, I look forward to getting your review for the Midnight Perturbation film, and then I'll bring my lovely, beautiful team with me on the next time we do a video call.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Well, you hang tight.
Cool. You too, man.
Thanks everybody who watched us today, and we'll be seeing later more stuff. So take it easy.
Definitely. Take care.
And